Good evening, friends, and welcome to our first ever virtual Evening with the Stars event. I'm Kim Blosser, president of Lord Fairfax, and 2020 has certainly been a year of firsts. We finished the spring semester with students taking classes at a distance. We held our first ever virtual commencement ceremony. We had our student awards ceremonies held at a distance, and we even had our first virtual nursing pinning ceremony. And now, instead of hosting our 7th annual Evening with the Stars event at the lovely Shawnee Farm Barn, we're hosting this virtually as well. So 2020 will be remembered for many things. And one is having to reimagine how we are doing all of these events and sharing the good news of our college and of our students without having large in-person gatherings. So being a community college means that we support our local community, and we would not be building this beautiful center in Luray if it wasn't for the support of our community. And so to help our local businesses this year, we wanted to plan a party to go. So when you're out, please thank our sponsors for underwriting this event and offering their continued support of Lord Fairfax. As always, it would not be an Evening with the Stars event if we did not have the support of the Luray Caverns. Every year they support us, and once again they've stepped up to be our lead sponsor. And so we want to thank them for their generosity and for always supporting our students here in Page County. We also want to say how much we appreciate the support of our other sponsors this evening, and we want to thank Racy Engineering, LD&B Insurance, Intelligent Analytics. Each of these businesses have been a partner and a friend to Lord Fairfax and have made important contributions to this project. So I hope you all enjoy the food, the drink, and tonight's program, our 7th annual Evening with the Stars event. It's hard to imagine that when we left in spring break of 2020, back in March, that it would be the last time that some of our students would ever step foot on our campus before they would graduate. And despite all the changes and disruptions to the students' lives, we still had 1,296 of them graduate this past spring. They persevered, they got through what we needed to get through, and they completed their programs. And of those, 85 are from Page County. We also have a very successful dual enrollment program. In this past year, 266 high school students that were enrolled at either Luray High School or Page County High School were taking dual enrollment classes. And 52 of those also earned a certificate or a degree this past year before they graduated from high school. And while we would all like for this pandemic to be behind us, we have created a plan for our fall classes where we are able to keep students and our employees as safe as we can by limiting the amount of in-person instruction. Having said that, there are some programs where students have to attend in person. Our nursing program, our phlebotomy program, it's very hard for students to learn to be a phlebotomist if they don't do actual sticks on individuals. It's also hard to learn to weld or be an electrician if you don't have some hands-on instruction. And so the way that we formatted our classes for the fall is we will have some in-person instruction in small groups, wearing masks, doing our physical distancing, to be able to keep folks able to continue with their programs that they're going to need for this economic recovery, but at the same time keeping as many students taking classes at a distance as we can. And part of that has also been to be able to have students have various options for taking classes at a distance. So we're offering classes where students can still meet with their instructor every week at the same time, just like a traditional face-to-face class would be. We've purchased computers that students can check out. All of our sites are open so students can come in and use the computers if they don't have access to either high-speed internet or to the technology. And we're working with students to make it as seamless as possible to be able to continue their education during this challenging time. And as you know, we have strong partnerships in Page County. We have always had a very strong partnership with our public schools. And Donna Whitley Smith, the former superintendent, is going to talk a little bit about those partnerships and what the partnership with the school division and Lord Fairfax has done for students in the county.
The partnership with LFCC allowed our students both aspiration and access. If you're a student who is unsure of your ability to compete at the college level, not quite sure that you can make it, that first dual enroll class is really the gateway to success. It allows you to build your confidence with higher level writing, reading, thinking skills in a setting that is comfortable for you. And then from there, you can parlay that into bigger and bigger challenges. And all of a sudden, you start to see yourself as college material where maybe before you didn't think so. That's, I think, probably the biggest first step for us. And then, of course, the access. Having it available and affordable in our local community meant that students who previously couldn't have envisioned themselves investing in a 2-year degree or a 4-year education could go step by step and make their way towards a degree or a certification. Trying to look at our college application and achievement records, data over years, all of a sudden we started having more and more students accepted at higher level universities. William and Mary, UVA, Virginia Tech, Harvard, which at one time would have been a rarity, fewer and fewer. All of a sudden there were more and more. And I think part of that was because of the strength of their transcript, which was filled with dual enrollment classes. That says to universities and colleges, we have students who are competitive. They may not come from a large system. They may not have the access to the plethora of courses that you might have if you were in a Fairfax County or a Henrico or a Chesterfield. But look at what they've done at the community college level. This says they're ready for college work, challenging college work. And then when they complete and graduate and go on, that to me says that dual enrollment has paved the way for their success.
So you all will recall that in 2006, Lord Fairfax Community College went to Page County. We had a great partnership with local government, with the town of Luray, with the county of Page, to be able to establish this new center to help address the issue with lost manufacturing jobs when the Wrangler plant at the time was closing. And it's been a great partnership. We've been able to offer many successful programs and get students through programs at our current location, and we've been very grateful to our partners in the county. And so several of our guests this evening are going to talk about that history and a little bit about how we got to Page County.
At that time, as you know, things have progressed since then, but there was not a lot of opportunity for the youth here in the county so far as higher education goes. And those that were pursuing higher education, many of us, myself included, as a police officer, drove to Lord Fairfax Community College, the Middletown campus, to get our associate degrees and then move on to higher education. But the fact that we would be able to get an institution here that would avail itself to the students that couldn't afford to make that drive, or the students that didn't have the ability to make that drive and have it here in town, plus the economic development standpoint of having a community college here in the town of Luray, were things that we were looking at. And the whole community was very much in favor of it. At that time, we had several large businesses close. Wrangler, which is Vanity Jeans now, had cut back a good deal of its manufacturing here. Wallace Business Forums, which was a big employer here, had cut back a lot of their business, and a lot of our manufacturing efforts were, our businesses, I should say, were moving out of the country then, and plants were scaling down. So a lot of our blue-collar workers really didn't have anything to fall back on, and so a lot of the aspect of the community college system too was not only for the children or the kids, but also for some of the workers who wanted to gain those skills necessary to find new employment and find a different venue for them to work in.
You know, I've been with the company many years, and through those years we went from a company who made blue jeans to a company that just distributes blue jeans. So back in the day when we had 7 sewing plants, and we had a shipping and a pressing and a laundry department. You know, at one point throughout the valley, we had over 1,800 employees. So as things changed and we went through the process of the manufacturing of the jeans moving offshore, of course, we lost the production part of the jeans. Our folks who did those jobs, so many of those people were able to take advantage of Lord Fairfax and get degrees and get wonderful jobs. And, you know, if you go to Page Memorial or you go to one of the doctor's offices here in town, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a nurse that has worked for Wrangler at one time or another. Same at the nursing homes. All those ladies who are now nurses and have their degrees, they sewed blue jeans at one time in their life. So Lord Fairfax has done amazing things for Page County already, and this new college is only going to do more to further that.
So don't you think it's interesting that Lord Fairfax came to Luray during an economically challenging time for the county, and now here we are building our brand new building, and not only an economically challenging time, but also certainly one that has a health crisis as well. And we are pleased at how well this building is coming. For those of you that have had an opportunity maybe to have a tour, for some that haven't, we'll get you in there to be able to see the building. But it is coming along and making progress every single week. It is a beautiful building on a beautiful location. And we are a little ahead of schedule, but we are certainly shooting for that completion at the end of December this year. And so students will be taking classes beginning January of 2021. And so some of the folks that have been involved in this are going to talk a little bit about this project and how we got it started.
Jenkins Hall is a perfect satellite facility for Lord Fairfax. It's got numerous classrooms in it, 4 classrooms, 3 upstairs that can be transitioned. They're sort of based on the notion of classrooms of the future where you can move them around, make them bigger, make them smaller, depending on what the needs are. There's a trades lab, state-of-the-art trades lab that's going in on the lower level. There's a nursing and healthcare simulation lab that's going to have state-of-the-art equipment in it as well. There's a testing center, computer center. There'll be a computer lab in there that's really going to up the game for Lord Fairfax Community College in Luray. And there's a lot of common area spaces for students to use. There'll be another aspect of this facility is its use in the community and how well it's situated in Luray as a hub for community activities and that sort of thing. There's a really nice deck that's going, a rooftop deck patio area that's going in the top, and other than that, it's just an incredible facility that's built with versatility in mind. This project has been a team effort at its very core. We've had Kelsterman Lee out of Stanton, which is a Richmond-based general construction contracting firm. GEI has donated a large portion of the site work, but they've also done other work on this project, and they've been instrumental in keeping things on track, keeping things moving. A top-notch contractor. Racy Engineering has been wonderful to work with. They've sort of held our hand all the way through, walked us through problems and challenges that have come up, and Wassner and Winkler, the architect for the project, has designed a magnificent project that's going to last through the ages. But individually, their contributions have been incredible, but together, that is one of the best teams I've ever worked with. And they have all come together. It's been a labor of love for all of them. And it's definitely not a stereotypical project where the main incentive is financial. These folks are personally invested in this project, and the outcome, it shows in everything that's happened out there. And the final product will be better in the end for having had that kind of personal investment from this team.
From an engineering perspective, of course, we did civil, we did structural, we did plumbing, we did a great deal of the engineering work with the architect. But the most exciting part was the level and quality of people that have been on this job. From the day when General Excavation turned the first bit of dirt, you know, one of the best superintendents you'll ever run into, and really good crews. And then when Kelsterman Lee come in here, and it's the same deal. You got really high quality professional folks, and we're extremely fortunate to have these crews on a job of this size and type.
I think they progressed a whole lot faster, and they're doing a great job, and they have a great superintendent on the job. Very knowledgeable, and they're moving pretty well.
I think there's been a very good response from the community that we will have this here. I think it can be a place that's not just to earn an associate's degree. I think that there are other things that the center can provide: workforce training, adult education classes, an opportunity for people to meet in a beautiful new space. I hope that it can become a hub for the community. What I'm hearing is nothing but positive reactions from the community, and I think everyone will be happy for us to open those doors next semester.
You can't tell from where we're sitting now, but you can literally see the space across the building from where we are. So we see every day, it's a reminder of just the good things that are happening here.
So one of the things we're very excited about in this new building are the programs we're going to be able to offer for the first time in Page County. One of those is a result of the new trades labs that'll be in Jenkins Hall. And in that trades lab, we're going to be able to have our heavy equipment operator program, and we're going to look at ways to expand other trades programs that we've never been able to offer in the county. We also found out just a few weeks ago that we had received a very generous grant from the Claude Moore Foundation, which is going to allow us to have a state-of-the-art health sciences lab where we'll start our new physical therapy assisting program starting in fall 2021. We'll be able to offer a medical assisting program, and we'll look for other healthcare programs that we can also start to offer in Page. All of that is due to the expanded space that we've been able to have in this new building. And in order to do that, our foundation had to, even though we've raised a tremendous amount of money for the building, we had to certainly, to build it, secure a loan. And I cannot tell you how excited we were when we were going through those loan applications to see that we had a partnership between our two local banks, Pioneer Bank and Blue Ridge Bank, that went in together to be able to provide the college a wonderful loan opportunity to be able to build this building. And we are so grateful to both Pioneer and to Blue Ridge Bank, who have also supported us financially in this, but to be part of what we're doing to be able to create the loan process for us to be able to build this building. So we thank you, and we'll listen to them talk about what this has meant in the county.
Brian and I talked about it, and we decided that Brian, president of Blue Ridge Bank, and we decided that it was important that this, not only we get the contributions for it, but that the actual funding be available. And we knew the state's funding wasn't available, and we decided it would be a good idea if the two local banks got together and put up the money and offer some favorable terms. And so that's what we did. So I think, again, it's part of that investment in wanting to have this college here and this campus here in Page County.
This was a critical project for the community. We recognized the benefit that was going to be there, the opportunity for the community, and we felt like it was important, given both banks having a presence in Page County, for us to work together and join together to not just make donations, because both banks did that, but to combine and create the financing package to make sure this happened.
One of the best parts of every one of our Evening with the Stars events is always hearing from students. They are the reason we do what we do every single day. And so I want to just introduce you to Judy Sudduth, who is the director of our center in Luray, and she's going to introduce us to a couple of students who are going to share a little bit about their experience. And then we're going to hear from Amy Judd. She is the manager of our Adult Basic Education program, and we offer classes in Page County. She's also a Page County native, and she's going to talk about their program, and you'll hear from a student there that's been able to take advantage of that program as well.
There are students who come here fresh out of high school. There are students who've been dual enrolled, and there are non-traditional students, and they all come in with different levels of confidence. And it's just wonderful to see how a small center like the Luray Page County Center takes a special interest in each person and helps them figure out what they want to do and helps really transform their lives. Sometimes they come in and they're not, they're very nervous. And I just love to get them to a point where they're comfortable, where they laugh, where they know that this is a place where they're going to be accepted. One of my students is Diane Winter, and she is, in my opinion, a great success story because she's a non-traditional student who's, when she first came to us, she was very nervous. She came to us from Northern Virginia. She did have some college credits, but she is now just so excited about what her future holds. And it's because she has confidence that maybe she didn't have before.
When I started, moved to Luray from Northern Virginia, where I lived my entire life. And it was a new beginning for me. I wanted to enter the job market, and I was finding the only thing I was lacking from my resume was a college education, which is the concrete building block for everyone. I have taken some very intense courses with business management as well as information systems, and I have 3.52 average. I'm very proud of. I'm very excited. I'm so disappointed I waited so long in life to complete this, and however, I am thriving in this experience right now. I was invited to Phi Theta Kappa, which I accepted. This is just a wonderful thing. I feel 20. I'm much older, but I don't want to stop.
I came straight into Lord Fairfax. It was actually easier than I thought because I already knew like a bunch of people that came here. I know if I would have went to a university, I would have been more nervous because I'm so shy and quiet that it wouldn't have fit my personality at all. I've enjoyed having like smaller classes versus the university where they have bigger classes because I can interact with like my classmates and the professors.
Well, I think that students who come to the adult education program are oftentimes scared to come back to college or to come back to school at all. And so having the adult education program at LFCC allows them to move in at a pace and at an academic level that is appropriate for them. And so it's not intimidating. Our instructors are very welcoming, very patient. They go the extra mile to help students. And that way they're able to be ready for the next step in their life, whether that's a job, whether that's going to college or entering a certification program. We help move them along the way, and I think that that's what makes most of our students a success. It's easy, it's comfortable, and it's something to be proud of. Just walking through the door the first time, back to school, sometimes maybe in many years, or about to change careers, it takes a lot of courage to do that. Recently, we had a GED graduate in Page County named Ricardo Valencia, and Ricardo has lived in the United States for 31 years, but he came here. English was his second language, which I can only imagine how difficult it would be to go to school in a language that was not your original language. And he came back to earn a GED because he really wanted that sense of pride. He wanted to show his family, especially his children, that he could achieve this and that education was important. And he wanted to continue his career. He'd already earned a CDL license from Workforce Solutions at LFCC, and adding the GED to his resume made him more job marketable and able to pursue more goals. And we're just so proud of what Ricardo was able to accomplish. He did it fairly quickly, thanks to our instructor, Kara Winham, and he's a real success story for the county and the college.
I am Ricardo Valencia. I am original from Mexico City. I've been here in the States for 31 years. And it's been a lot of challenges in my life. I am happily married, have two beautiful daughters, and 21 years old and 10 years old. In 2016, I decided to get my CDL, and I contacted Lord Fairfax Community College, and they told me they was providing a course for a CDL. So I started with them, and it took me probably about, 8-9 months to get my CDL, but I definitely had to say that was one of the best decisions I ever made to go there and get my CDL. I worked there for 5 years, and then I decided to again get my GED. That was something that I always want to get it done. The reason I want to get it done is because I want to feel proud of myself that never is too late to get successful in life. So, and then after I got my GED, I decided to try another opportunity, and I'm working now for another company, and I'm happy. This is one of the best things that is gonna change your life. That is never gonna be a regret. And it's really important, especially with the times right now that is getting pretty tough. I think education is very important for anybody.
In the world we live today, you're going to need some kind of further training, further opportunities. And investing in that next step, whether it's your interest is in a hands-on skill, whether you're not sure about what you want to do, as you equip yourself with more opportunities, more doors open for you. And that's why education, regardless of your age, is so important for everyone, but particularly for kids who've been raised in this community, who may not have seen the big wide world and need to be able to take a first step. Education is that first step.
My own stepdaughter, who was second in her class at Page County High School, she didn't make it through her first semester. She didn't make it through the third week of college because it was too big for her. She went to Tech, wonderful college. She came to Lord Fairfax, great experience, loved it, and went on to a four-year college to Radford, and then to her master's. So, and she came back to Page County. Any event we go to where people, students, former students or graduating students or current students are telling their story, I'm going to get choked up even just recalling the last one. I don't remember her name, but the mother of two children and struggling along, but finishing her degree and making herself certified for more than just an hourly wage job. It's heartbreaking, and it is so important and part of our sense of the possibility of the future. Going into higher education is not part of the long-standing tradition here. The long-standing tradition is hard work, being willing to drive anywhere in the state, basically, to pick up a hammer and to build a house. I think that higher education is one of many pathways forward, and I don't think it occurred to the average Page County citizen of how important it would be. And now to have a college campus here, instead of it being rented space in an old manufacturing facility with leaky roof and so on. This is proud. This is a proud step forward.
My daughter and my son. My daughter continued, and she finished at EMU just recently. And if it wasn't for LFCC, she may have never gone to get any higher education. She was at a point where she was going to not finish, and because LFCC was close and efficient on the money end of it, as far as tuition and other expenses, she could still hold down the job and get her education too, and it catapulted her into getting her degree finished, and she finished with a human resources business degree.
Well, my mom went to LFCC, and my mom had children young, and I have some older sisters. My mother had children young, and I know that when she went back to school, it was a big deal, and it was hard. And I've heard many stories about trying to get rides to school as a single mom with two kids, but I know she's so proud of the fact that she did it because it was so hard to do, and we are really proud of her because she did something that was so hard to do that I think a lot of people can't do, but yet they do every day. So it's just, I'm really proud of my mom.
So after hearing from some of our current students, one of the things we would have done this year at our Evening with the Stars event is introduce you to our Alumnus of the Year, who is a Page County native and who was one of the first students to start attending Lord Fairfax when we opened in 1970 and was in the very first graduating class. And that is Garland Bubba Gokenauer, and we are so thrilled this year to be able to have him recognized as our Alumnus of the Year. We would have had a special ceremony for that in the spring as well, but since we weren't able to host those in person, we've been doing some other celebratory things and recognizing Bubba. So we wanted to just give a shout out to him and tell him how proud we are that he is our Alumnus of the Year.
Lord Fairfax gave me an opportunity that was unforeseeable. I shared with them one of the most notable and probably most impressing things I'll remember about Lord Fairfax Community College is how they were so helpful to a young man who had no future plans for education. They reached out to me in a way, it was almost as if Lord Fairfax Community College wanted me to succeed in life and they wanted to be a part of it. That in itself was special. They were able to set me up in classes and I was able to complete a 2-year education, which opened many doors for me. The thing about Lord Fairfax is that it provides an affordable and a good education and a real experience for life.
So as you hear from students and folks that have been involved with the college, you're going to hear about why education matters so much in this community. And the reason we're here is to help the economic development of this community. That's why we exist in all of our communities. And part of what you'll hear is many of our local businesses have partnered with us either with sending their employees to Lord Fairfax to get training. They've partnered in ways to get employees or even to just do some professional development training for their employees. But why we're here is to try to make sure students have a path to a new career, to a new job, and for businesses to be able to increase their workforce. And so you're going to hear from a few of our business leaders about the importance of having a community college right in Page County.
So we're looking for the folks that have the aptitude for IT, for information technology, that have certifications. That the ideal candidate for our help desk is someone who has a 2-year degree. This is an entry-level position, so that we get a couple years experience, and then they can move on to other places down the road. The other side of the house is from an administrative standpoint. So anybody who has any kind of just any 2-year community college degree would be very helpful. Makes people stand out here. Though we have a lot of folks that just have high school diplomas, there's definitely a step up, or there's a difference in the type of work that the folks actually wind up getting if they have a degree. So just based on the experiences, because they typically are required to write, typically required to do some thinking, some critical thinking, and that's important in the government contracting world, is critical thinking. Not that you don't get it at the high school level, but that 2-year degree, that training from the community college is a little bit more, and that helps us. And we've been very successful attracting folks, and we value what we get from the folks at LFCC.
Yeah, we have numerous people, obviously, with our main operational center being in Luray, numerous employees who have attended classes at Lord Fairfax, graduated with an associate's degree from Lord Fairfax. So again, it's not just an economic driver for the community, it's also something as a company we directly benefit from. One is it gives us an opportunity with workforce credentialism to be able to send people and they can become better employees in our environment, and not just us but other businesses as well. And then also with the vocational element, there's so many great career opportunities that do not require a 4-year degree, the debt that goes along with it, and in some cases people just from a lifestyle perspective can't accommodate a 4-year education. So by being able to offer those here in the community, we're going to offer opportunities to Page County residents and citizens to improve their lives here, and also give businesses the tools they need to improve and enrich their own workforce.
I have so many stories to tell, and some of them are so exciting. Like we have one student in our Front Royal location who attended Lord Fairfax while she was working for us in our parts department, and now she's off studying cybersecurity in Northern Virginia. I mean, we have these amazing stories. We have stories of employees who maybe just needed a little bit of touching up on a certain skill set that we are able to use Lord Fairfax to help make them more valuable to our company, and just, you know, story after story. And I think that's the beautiful thing about a community college, is it touches so many people in ways that you can't even imagine if you tried. Anytime we can invest into our community and raise our skill level and increase our skill level to local people and local jobs, rising tide lifts all boats. We all benefit from that, and just economic growth benefits us all.
We have a lot of employees here that have gone and are going to LFCC right now. They're extremely anxious to get into the new on the new campus, and but those people have brought a wealth of experience because of the college experience to our business and to the community, for that matter, in different ways that it just wouldn't exist. That effort wouldn't exist without LFCC.
So I enjoy working too at Luray Caverns. So that's another thing. I enjoy working also as doing homework and all that. So it's helped me a lot, like being able to still work and all that.
It all comes back to this community, and the impact that this college has had on Luray and Page County has been enormous. It's we can't measure the impact.
You have to have educational equity. Our citizens have to have equal skills to citizens in other communities in order to thrive, or the community will not thrive. And this particular physical place in a community like Luray, we will be able to capture that young talent and give them economic mobility through their educational skills and development as leaders, and give them the tools they need to make this community thrive, because we're making them better. Having this college here will give us a chance to propagate the business community. I really do, because it may not take a 4-year degree, it may only be a 2, but there has to be some level of education in order for the next guy to open a mechanical shop, an HVAC shop, a small equipment business, whatever, or a service-oriented business. And I think having that here, that can be done, and it's one major component you have to have in Luray, and that's some skill in your workforce that lives here. And without this, I don't know that we could have continued to find that workforce. And it has to be from here. It works much better.
It's good for the county and the businesses especially, because the better educated you have an employee, the better employee that's going to be. Even down to your restaurants, all the way up to your top positions in management. The better a person can be educated, the better they can perform their job.
We talk about education and what it does for higher education, which just brings economic strength to the area. And, you know, that's what I've been hoping for. You know, the ultimate goal here is to bring our community to a higher level, both educationally and economically.
This is an opportunity for a lot of people to come together and support and work together and bring about economic development, because at the end of the day, really what we're talking about here is we are going to be an engine starter for economic development, because we're going to build a workforce. We are building the next workforce.
I felt it was probably, without a doubt in my mind, the most significant investment the town could make. It pays off in so many ways, not only with the opportunities for our students, but also from a standpoint of economic development. Having the college here will attract businesses simply because the college is here. Also, it will provide a more rounded workforce for those businesses who decide to locate here. In economic development, one of the most critical things is to have the workforce there before the business locates, and to know that it's here. Having there are a lot of studies that show that communities that have colleges and community colleges within their towns and communities fare much better when it comes to economic development. But to me, it was a no-brainer for the town council. I mean, we invest in a lot of things, but this was clearly an investment that I know we'll get our money back in a lot of ways.
So one of the most important messages that I can leave you with this evening is just simply thank you. This project is creating a legacy that will benefit our students long after we're all gone. And I hope that you will feel proud of the role that you've played to be able to build a community college here in Page County. Before we wrap up this evening, I want to express our gratitude to several people. First, the Jenkins family. We certainly would not be here without the donation of land that you gave to be able to get this project started, and then all of your donation of the site work and the beautiful new parking lot and all of the pieces that you've put into this project to make it possible. We thank you very much.
You have to look for people like the Jenkins, who have been so kind and so generous to provide this land and funding to help build something like this. I think it's just an enormous contribution to this county.
And thanks to the Jenkins family, primarily, they have been extremely generous and continue to be. They're very supportive in every facet of their personal lives and their professional lives to really make sure that this college happens, but happens in a big enough way where it's an impact. But that campus is much more than I ever thought.
We also have an amazing group of local folks that helped us with this campaign. We also wouldn't be here without them out in the community working with folks to help them donate to this project. And to date, we have to tell you, we have now raised a little over $3 million for this building. And so we're going to show you who our campaign folks are. You're going to hear from some of those, but we want to just make sure you know how much we thank you for all that you've done, for all the hours that you've put into this project.
This project, and I've worked with other capital campaign committees, and this project was well accepted, and I think accepted more than any project we've done here in this small community. We discovered a wealth of this community, not just through funding, but through just personalities and people willing to give in other ways, not so much monetarily, but giving their time and their efforts and their energies to make this happen.
Actually, when we started this project, I really did not think we could meet the expectations that were set forth for us. I knew there were a lot of people that would help us to raise money for education, but I had no idea that we would have the community support that we've had. It was absolutely unbelievable how many people came forward. And I feel like in the end, everybody realizes that there are children in this county that we have to support that can't be, their parents can't support them in the way that the community can. And so it was amazing to see the community step forward, and those of us who have the ability to step up and change Page County for the future.
I would say that this county, its response to the community has been very favorable. I would say that the amount of monies raised for this project have been over and above what we could have expected.
I think I have a feel for what is going on here, and I knew from my experience with working on other projects with LFCC that this project would be so transformative, that it would be such an amazing thing for the area, for the county, and I knew that this investment would just pay dividends for generations to come. Every day there was something new, and I used to leave the board meeting so excited. And I would tell people, if you're not excited about what's going on at LFCC, you're not paying attention. Because I can't think of any organization that I have ever been associated with that does more to touch more people every day than LFCC.
I'm just blessed, honored actually, and to see the wheels turning in what this college does for our geographic area is again inspiring, and for me to see and be a part of hopefully seeing this thing through, making it available for our geographic area is it's pretty special for me.
So finally, thank you to our donors. Page County is not a wealthy community, but we are a proud community, and there's tremendous amount of pride for this project. And all of us want to look to the future and see what education can do to our community. Many of you have given the biggest gift of your life to allow us to build this state-of-the-art facility, and it's going to serve students in Page County and our surrounding area for years to come. As college president, I'm committed to make sure that we use those funds in the best way we can so that you will see a positive return on your investment. Our future in Page County is very bright. So now, listen to some of our local community leaders as they tell you what this project has meant to them and how they believe it's going to impact Page County into the future.
I think I'm just real proud to play a small part, and my bank play a small part in this, and we just think it's great that we're going to have a college campus here permanently in Page County.
That's the main thing, is the education. If the kids have a place to go and don't have to drive 20, 30 miles or 50 miles. So I think it's a great thing for the county and the town. I just want to thank the college folks for letting us be a part of it and working with them.
But in the community itself, I'm just really proud that it's happening.
So what I see and what I hope for is that the college's presence here is going to help attract other companies and businesses to consider having Page County as a primary presence. Again, just the idea of being able to develop employees with a local school partnership, that does so much to be able to attract other elements. And the beautiful thing about economic development is the law of inertia helps drive it. Just like in physics, things in motion tend to stay in motion. Here we create some energy, we create some positive forward movement. We're going to not just sustain that, we're going to build on that. I'm a huge believer in the opportunity of Page County and the broader community in the Valley. It's an incredible place to live. We have so much to be able to provide people, and we have incredible awareness. Hundreds of thousands of people a year come to Luray. They know Luray. They want to live in Luray. We just have to convince them that we have the tools to be able to support them and their businesses. This new campus is a tremendous tool to help support that argument.
I think that this situation of stepping up to a challenge and also to a future that people might have some question about. I don't think that there was any way that people couldn't get it in their heart to invest in this different future for Page County to have this opportunity, this site, this physical demonstration of future and of possibility. People just surprised us all along the way, the generosity. Many people, too many names, and it's even wrong to mention those names that really stand out. But every gift stood out. Every gift was a free will piece of the future.
My dream has been exceeded, to be honest with you. I mean, I never envisioned that we would have a building that is going to look like that in Luray. I mean, it's going to be a magnificent building, and quite honestly, I can't wait to drive there every day.
Just in the past 10 years of LFCC's presence in Page County, which was celebrated a couple years ago, just from the beginnings of that to what it is today, nobody ever would have guessed that. There was skepticism, of course, in the beginning, 10 years ago, about them coming here and having a campus here, but it's proven to be fruitful not only for the college itself, but for the community. and it has changed people's lives in ways that I can't even express for the positive.
I just think it's such a blessing for this community to have the college here, and everyone I've worked with at Lord Fairfax has been very cooperative, has been very motivated to get this to come to fruition, and it's going to, and it's just wonderful. And I can't express my gratitude to Lord Fairfax and all the officials there who are making this happen. Thank you all.
So thank you to all of you for attending this evening. You have been generous donors. You are cheerleaders for this college, great supporters, problem solvers, and we are so grateful that you could attend and be with us this evening to celebrate. As we say farewell, let's party like it's 2020. So grab your mask, do your physical distancing, and enjoy your food and your beverages and fellowship with whoever you're with at home watching this. I hope that at some point you will raise a glass and toast all that we've been able to accomplish and all we're going to accomplish into the future. The future for our students is very bright. And as we're celebrating 50 years, Lord Fairfax's golden anniversary, we're looking to the future and what the next 50 years looks like. And so as we close out tonight, let's listen to Donna Whitley Smith as she talks about what this 50-year milestone means. Thank you all so much and have a great evening.
I don't think 50 years ago when Lord Fairfax opened in Middletown that any of us conceived what a change it would make to the opportunities available to students in this valley. Having the Luray Page campus open increased that opportunity even more. The ability to have a flexible partnership with the school systems to use our resources in the very most wise and thoughtful way to support student success, to open doors, that has made a difference that I don't think we really can measure with data, but that you can talk anecdotally and you'll find the difference it's made. Well, I have personal goals in my life is to leave a legacy for the children behind me. And while you can invest your time and energy in working for a system, it's nice to know that you can invest in something like the Lord Fairfax campus here in Page County that will live far beyond your time and beyond the next generation. I envision that campus being there for perpetuity and growing as the needs and the size of this community grow, and continuing to evolve to allow the citizens of Page County every opportunity to pursue their dreams. That's an investment worth making.